of your life?
By loving them as much as you can.
Without being with them?
Doesn't matter. Focus on how much you love. Come into perfect alignment with who you really are, and everything that you want will then come into alignment for you.
But how do you imagine someone else when you can't stop thinking about one person?
Isn't that effort?
Yes.
And if we are talking about, as in the first question today, we're talking about, are you thinking the thoughts or are you receiving them? So are you conjuring the imagination or are you receiving it? So what happens if you're standing in the middle of something and you're trying to get someone to go away? Now your vibrational stance is one of repulsion. In other words, it doesn't work, but what you're actually doing is keeping away from yourself the inspiration about what you are looking for. Isn't that interesting? You cannot push against anything. You cannot push against anything without putting the equal pressure on yourself.
So how do you allow then? How do you allow when you...
Well, what is the feeling of allowing? What does allow feel like? What is it that you're looking for in a new relationship? What are you wanting?
Fun. Amazing experiences. Expansion.
Right. So are you saying to us that given where you are standing, you cannot find that?
I can.
Then do that.
But what I don't get is, if I keep thinking about my experience with this person and thinking that he was the love of my life, how do I move on to the new, that's something I don't...
Well, here's the thing. If you focus upon the aspects that are in harmony, that feel good as you focus upon them, then you continue to create the vibrational atmosphere that allows everything that you want to then flow into your experience. You see, we are appreciating this conversation because you are demonstrating the way a lot of people are still approaching what deliberate creation is. It feels like you are saying yes to you and no to you and yes to you and no to you and yes to this and no to this. And really you are, but you have been saying all of that for a rather long time. And you've created a consensus of who you are and what you really want. If you're having a lot of boredom, you're asking for a lot of stimulation. If you're having a lot of not fun, you're asking for fun. The life experience, the synthesizing, the sorting, the sifting through the contrast of life has caused you to identify in a vibrational way everything that you are looking for. And in fact, that's the reason that you are beginning to feel such dissatisfaction about where you are. Think about this. Because life caused you to create it to be more than it is. So when you look at what is, it feels uncomfortable because it's not the more that you've created. Are you following? So if you could accept yourself as a vibrational being who is emitting vibrations, and if you could hear us when we say, you have control over the vibration, but you have to be more general in your approach, because if you get too specific, then you keep activating the way you feel already, and you just keep producing more and more resistance that doesn't let what you've created into your experience. Also, there's the feeling in your physical world, which we love you so much, but you are much more action-oriented than is good for you. And we don't mean that we're trying to talk you out of action, but inspired action is so wonderful. And efforting action, there's such a difference between doing something because you want to make something else happen and finding inspiration that inspires the action. We've been talking about that in all of the days that we've been together. So when you accept that you are a vibrational being and that you live in a vibrational universe that is attraction-based, and you don't try so hard to omit this and include this and omit this and include this, because after all, you've been already doing that. You do that all day, every day. Your preferences are known by you and by all that is. So if you trust that you are a worthy being, and we know that takes some doing. We've talked more on this cruise about that than any other time that we've been with any other group of people, about how to create and prepare your personal vibrational atmosphere so that you are more allowing of what you've already created. Do you remember step 1, step 2, step 3? Do you remember it? And do you understand why we talk about creation in those 3 steps? Because the vibration of the asking is different than the vibration of the receiving. There's much more resistance in the process of the asking than is necessary in order to receive what you're asking for. That was the sifting and the sorting process. You've done that. Now it's time to stop asking. It's like, this is going to seem odd to you, but we have to give you this analogy because it is so applicable. It's like you have a boy in your family, and you have decided that it will be his job to take the garbage out. He'll gather it up and he'll take it out. He'll take it out of the house. He'll take it to the curb. He is the garbage handler. You decided that for him. He didn't decide it for himself. You assigned it to him. And so you ask him to do it, but no garbage moves anywhere. So you focus with greater clarity, and you decide that you're going to be more precise, more deliberate, more accurate, more meaningful, more direct. So you ask in a stronger way, but you are asking from your position of knowing that he hasn't taken out the garbage. So your words defy your point of attraction. Your point of attraction is all about no garbage is moving the way you want it to. So you use words, maybe even threats, maybe even power, and you can maybe get him, motivate him to take out the garbage. But you haven't really accomplished anything because there's going to be more garbage. And you've got a momentum going where you are defying the natural laws of the universe. So humans really believe that if they get clear, if they get strong, if they make the consequences great, if they begin to withhold things, give me your iPhone. Give me your iPhone. That's really a great club. Give me your iPhone. So if your child yields to you, if you beat him down, if you break him like the horse, if he yields to you, then you are both teaching each other something that doesn't serve either one of you well. You're teaching a very conditional love. You're teaching, when you do what I need you to do, then I feel better and I get what I want. Well, that's not the way the universe works. And he's teaching you, if he does it, if he yields to your disconnection, if he yields to your demands and your power, if he yields to your words, if he yields to your action, if he yields to anything other than his pure desire to be of value, then he is teaching you conditional, and in the same way that you are teaching him. So let's take this analogy. And you'd like the garbage to go, and it isn't going. And you see someone very capable of doing it. And you know what a willing person this is. You've seen the willingness on many occasions. So you don't make an edict. You don't make a commandment. You don't make a demand. You don't make a work chart. Instead, you appeal. They're taking out the garbage. Instead, you appeal to the aligned part of him. You love him. You acknowledge his value. You feel appreciation for who he is. You acknowledge all of the positive aspects about him. You turn yourself inside out in your love and appreciation of him. You acknowledge his value. You watch for evidence of his willingness. You appreciate him. You do not let his behavior be the reason that you find your vibrational atmosphere. You take care of your vibrational atmosphere apart from that, apart from everything, in fact. You love as the source within you loves, so that when you hold him as your object of attention, your appreciation of him is enormous. In fact, you express to him, because when someone holds you as their object of attention and they are tuned in, tapped in, turned on to this source energy, it's enlivening to them. And without offering words or commands or demands, as you see this person as the willing person as he is, as the cooperative person that he is, as a person who wants to be part of a productive whole, who cares about being of value, who wants to be of value, who was born to be of value, who was born to follow inspiration. As you no longer do that thing that you do that causes him to resist you, to put up his umbrella, to resist the well-being, then he wakes up in the morning with a feeling, with a thought, with an impulse. He's inspired to the behavior, you see. And that's really what you're wanting to do with everyone in your life. You're not wanting to demand things of them. Oh, yeah, let's make a vow. We will stay together no matter how rotten we are to each other until death do we part. We'd say, I like you pretty good. Let's see how it goes. I like you pretty good. Let's see how it goes. No parting even in death. We thought you'd like to know that. Helpful? You getting the sense of this?
So are you saying that when I meet my...
We're saying you can't get there from there. You can't get there from there. You have to create the atmosphere around yourself. So sometimes it is easier to walk away from things that you're tripping over, because the less you trip over them, the less active they are in your vibration. But when someone says, hey, Abraham, I think I will leave this relationship because of this reason and this reason and this reason. Do you think I should go? We always say, yes, but we think you should get out of town too, because there are things you don't like there too. And now you better get out of the country that you live in, and now you better get off of this continent, and now off of this planet. Now we don't know where to send you. Because in every particle of everything, there is wanted and unwanted. And you just can't ask a person or a situation. You can't demand it to be what you need it to be in order to feel good. You have to figure out how to feel good anyway. You have to figure out how to be unconditionally feeling good. And when you figure out how to unconditionally feel good, then everything that you have sifted and sorted and asked for from the universe will come to you. And in so many cases, it comes right from the person who was already living there, because you just find a different point of attraction. It was there in the beginning, do you remember? It just got covered up with junk.
So are you saying that
Yes.
when I get to that vibrational place that I should be feeling good, feeling great, etc., then my thoughts of I should have been with this person and we shouldn't be apart, and that sort of things would just...
What we're saying is, when you come in sync with who you are, and you don't need others or situations or conditions to be different for you to find that place, then you're going to discover, first of all, what true freedom is, and then everything that you've been asking for will flow into your experience with such ease and grace and effortlessness and sure-footedness, and most significantly, you will be of a mindset to realize it. You see, when you make your mind up about something, you block so much realism that could be there. When you make your mind up against something, you prevent yourself from so much. We want you to feel the steady flow of well-being that's coming to you. And we want you to trust the certainty of the well-being that's flowing. And I want you to try not so hard to try to define it, but you get out and you get in and you get out and you get in.
So does that mean that when I'm there, I will not miss him anymore?
Say again?
If I'm there, that I will not miss him anymore?
We are saying that because the missing is a vibrational inconsistency. When you're missing something that you want, you are introducing resistance into the equation that will not allow what you want in. Isn't that nice to know?
Yes. Yes.
Enough?